This is DJ Rubbish on the ones and twos. And I just come here to let y'all know it's about to get real filthy in this mother.
All right. We have Brian up here today. Episode 19 of In Todd We Trust. Welcome, everyone.
Gang, what up?
Whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or watching on YouTube, appreciate the view, the stream. It's been 19 episodes. That's crazy. I'm out here.
Big love to the listenership.
I'm out here. This is big time. So today we're reviewing How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. I have quite more thoughts than I thought I was going to have going into it, and after watching the first two. But before we get into the movie, got to intro the guest the proper way. Brian, aka Healthy Fats Carroll.
That's right.
Recently came back to Detroit, Detroit native from La La Land.
That's right.
How is the transition coming back? You came back in December, so
Came back
you picked
December.
the odd time to come back.
I'm
But
still cold, as I've told you. I have the circulation of a grandma, so hands and feet always cold, always layered up. Other than that, it's been pretty good. Sun's starting to come out here, so let's get better.
we had a good day. It's the sun is deceitful because it's still pretty cold outside today, but I didn't care. I still dressed as if it was like 60 because I was like, I'm going to, you try to force the warm weather.
Yeah.
So you just start going into like spring fashion regardless. So that's what I did today. So, Brian, could you please give us some background? Two things that I want to ask up here. I know I've asked you one of them before. The other one I have not. Healthy Fats.
Yeah.
Where the nickname came from, how long you've had it, the background.
Self-proclaimed. Just people are all on keto these days.
Mm.
I'm eating a lot of eggs, a lot of avocados. Just thought it felt right. Never had a nickname. Mostly it's like a B or a BC, just my initials. Never been a nickname guy.
Healthy Fats, for whatever reason, it rolls off the tongue a bit.
That's I thought, right?
Yeah, it did.
Well, because for me, my favorite nickname ever was University of Illinois' quarterback when I was in like high school or 8th grade was Juice Williams.
Yeah, right.
It was him and Richard Mendenhall.
Yeah.
And I felt right, food-based.
Food-based nickname. There you
go. Seemed right.
It definitely works. I was in a meeting the other day, and Brian just comes up to the glass and with the avocado, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what? He was like, Healthy Fats, like pointing at the avocado. What in the world? I just start laughing. Second question I had.
Yeah.
The navy blue.
Yeah.
Brian exclusively wears navy blue. That's all. Blue. I've seen
blue.
Some other blue, like in shorts, like working out, but for the most part, it's all navy blue.
Yeah.
I've never asked before. What is the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, and for full transparency, denim is included in that.
Denim,
so different
denim's
washes
included.
of denim, but
Yep.
blue. I just like it, but if pressed, I would say my first job, which I've told you, was at GQ. Was a fashion assistant straight out of college, and you don't want to on set. You don't want to reflect in the camera or if a model's wearing jewelry or anything shiny. So you always wear all black.
Got it.
But I'm from the suburbs here in Detroit, like very preppy clothes. Went to like an all boys school with a uniform, so I had like khakis and stuff. So me moving to New York, I didn't have black. I didn't have like cool guy black outfits.
Right.
And so the closest I had was like blue chinos and a blue T-shirt. So that became like my set thing. So I didn't have black clothes.
Right.
And just kind of morphed out from there.
Wow. That is, I didn't know that.
So, that was like the one real. Everything else was just like it kind of fell into place. It just became a thing after that.
I think I might. This, I'm not going to say I'm definitely going to do it, but I've definitely, since you started it, I've considered finding my color and sticking with it. More so out of just like, oftentimes I think how easy it is for you to get dressed in the morning.
I'm trying to get even more uniform, but yeah, it's like a bunch of blue tees, bunch of blue sweaters.
You don't have to really think through it. You know what I mean? You swag it out. I'm not saying you don't have style. You just come dressed in anything, but yeah, it definitely makes buying clothes a lot easier.
For sure.
As far as making decisions.
Yeah.
So I've definitely considered it. You might be onto something. So Brian actually also requested to be on the podcast before I met him. I was like, yo, who is this guy? Like, and then met him and was like, okay, he's a cool dude. But at first, I read the email. So I'm out of office when Brian gets hired. So Brian gets hired on, I see an email, and I'm like periodically checking my email while I'm out of office. Look at the email.
Todd did not email. He did not respond.
Never responded. Never responded to the email. I should have pulled the email up for the podcast, but it was to the tune of, hey, like, I would be a really great asset to be on your podcast. I know a lot about films, all this blah blah blah, like all this stuff, and I'm like, yo, like without even like a proper like, hey, I'm Brian.
No,
yada,
yeah, we'd never met. It was the first. It wasn't. I don't even think I wrote hi.
No,
I just said, listen, you,
Todd,
I'm gonna help you out here.
Yeah. With this. So it was like, yeah, he was doing me a favor. So I never even replied to it. I was like, yo, who is this guy? So yeah, and didn't really get a chance to even be. I didn't probably spend a full week at work with him until like mid to late January. Yeah, so then there was like a month where I'm like, yo, I don't know about this guy.
Our only
like,
contact had been this email.
This email.
All I know is there's this guy Todd does our event. He's always traveling for work. That was all I knew.
So that was the introduction. So rocky start, kind of a rocky start. And then Brian actually just recently became a client of mine. I'm back into the haircutting game.
There you go.
If you know me, you know that I used to cut hair from high school through college. And then retired, but now just cut a few of my friends. So Brian has now made that exclusive list of a handful of people who I still cut.
Try and keep it tight.
Yeah. Keep the circle small, man. So yeah, we actually ended up going to see this movie this morning. Coincidentally,
didn't intend to go together.
Yeah, no. Like I sent him to run a show for the episode and walk into I'm walking into the theater, and he replies back like, okay, cool, excited. I'm at Royal Oak Theater right now. So then I text back, nice. And I'm about, literally, as I'm reading his text, I'm walking into the theater. So I'm not about to text like, hey, I'm also here. Where you? I'm just like, I just walk in and see him. I'm like, oh, we're here at the same time, same showing. So just coincidental. All right, we're going to get into movie review first. One of the newest segments of the show, Song of the Week.
Yep.
Brian, what is your Song of the Week?
Song of the Week. I've been listening to a lot. I've talked a little bit, but Maggie Rogers' "Falling Water."
Yep.
Is my song of the week. It's been pumping me out. I like all her music videos. She has like dances weird.
Yeah.
So that's what I always think of.
I do like Maggie Rogers. I know we've had conversations about that. I do like her album. My song of the week is "Orange Trees" by Marina, formerly known as Marina and the Diamonds.
Sure.
She dropped the and the Diamonds for this upcoming album. It's coming out in April 26th to be specific.
Yeah.
It's going to be called Love and Fear, or Love Plus Fear. I don't know how you.
Are the Diamonds still around? Like, do they just not get billing anymore? Do you have any inside info on this?
So if you are of the belief, as I was until about a couple months ago, Marina and the Diamonds is just because her last name is Diamondis. So there are no other people. It's just her.
It's like Bon Iver or like Justin Vernon, where it's just like
it's just her.
He's just making stuff up.
Yeah. So it's nobody else.
Gotcha.
It was never another person. So yeah, I thought that too. Like these, and I've been a fan of hers since Prima Donna. That single came out in 2012. So I'm talking like the last 7 years. I've been under the impression that it's been her in a gang.
It's been
like
fooling everybody.
Yeah. So I guess I wasn't really a fan if I didn't know that. But anyway,
that's
she
maybe the come up. You bill for 4 people.
Yeah, right.
She's been she's been getting hotel rooms for a whole band.
Right.
It's just been her.
That's not a bad idea. I might have to do that. So I that Orange Trees has been my jam. Came out a couple days ago. It came out at midnight. I saw her post about it. I was waiting till midnight, heard it, and have been jamming to it ever since. So I'm excited for that album. So that's going to be exciting. Believe it or not, my music taste is more expansive than just female pop vocalists. You probably wouldn't know that from my last few weeks' Song of the Week, because that's all is featured. However, it is probably my favorite section of music, but yeah, and there's going to be a lot more of that too, because Sarah Bareilles is about to come out with an album as well, so there's going to be a lot more female pop vocalist songs that make it to this segment.
Love a good female-led vocal.
Oh, yeah, awesome. It's the like I said, it's probably my favorite type of music. Like I said, I'll have a wider range. Schoolboy Q is also coming out with an album soon, so I'm sure there's going to be a song or two on there that makes this segment as well. So on to the movie. The description for this is the third installment of this franchise, and what I'm assuming will be the final film based on how it ended. Description from IMDb is: when Hiccup discovers Toothless isn't the only Night Fury, he must seek the hidden world, in quotation marks, a secret dragon utopia for a hired tyrant named Grimmel, before a hired tyrant named Grimmel finds it first. Came out back in February on the 22nd. Features Jay Baruchel. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, I don't know. Bad guy for name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay something with a B is Hiccup in the movie, our main character. America Ferrara. I think that's the right pronunciation.
You're close there.
Is his girlfriend in the movie, and then soon to be wife.
That's
Gerard Butler is in it. Kate Blanchett is also in it. Jonah Hill and Kristen Wiig. So they have a few heavy hitters in there.
Sure.
So definitely some names you've never heard of, and then they throw those in there as supporting cast members. I'm questioning the budget for this. For some, not just this, but there are some animated films where I'm like, wow, they just like broke the bank with
For
this.
sure.
With
Well, yeah, because it's like I was thinking about the Jonah Hill thing, or like he's gotten obviously a lot bigger since the first one. Like I'm sure it's like in the first one it's like, oh, we got Jonah Hill, that's kind of tight, but it's like
That is
then the
true.
second one, then this one, so it's like, yeah, was it like, did they know they were signing up for 3? Did he keep getting paid more and more? Stuff
That
like
is,
that.
yeah, that's a good point. I do wonder that, like, if he had a contract and it's like, hey, we're doing 3, this is your rate, or if he
Yeah.
like asked for. I mean, we've seen this too with movies, like people ask for more money. Like the one infamously that comes to mind is Terrence Howard with Iron Man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
when he
yeah,
was like he was War Machine, and then he wanted more money, and then they said, peace out, Don Cheadle's in. So
For sure.
I feel like that's probably even easier to do with an animated film. And not probably, it definitely is easier to do with an animated film,
Yeah.
especially with supporting roles. But yeah, I wonder about that.
Yeah.
Runtime, hour and 44 minutes. I do believe, I'm a firm believer that animated films should not exceed like an hour and a half, hour 45. Like
Yeah.
once you get past that, it's like, all right, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
It was a good.
It was pretty tight.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
We had we could talk about it. The one my scene or any. I felt like Time to Be Saved could have been the dude that's a twin.
Yeah.
It was weird. We can get
Yeah.
in. I don't know how, but we can get into that.
Yeah,
but
no, we're getting into it now. My next
he-
question was going to be for initial thoughts that you wanted to get off your chest.
That's the first thing I want to get off my
Yeah.
chest. Is are they saying like? Is he gay? Like, why is he constantly talking about masculinity, pretending he has
Yeah.
a beard?
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, when
Right,
you first
right.
see it, and he's like, my beard.
Yeah.
It's strange. It was just weird.
Yeah, he had a weird vibe. I wasn't sure about what his like character was. Him and the twin. He in the movie we were referring to as one of his friends in his circle has it. They're twins. It's a
rough
boy
nut
and a
and
girl.
slough nut.
Something like that.
Some
Yeah.
rhyming kind of weird makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
as
it
is.
definitely does. They're both super strange. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And sometimes twins are weird like that. But yeah, I don't know what their deal was.
Yeah, I guess for me, knowing that, because the other twin was Kristen Wiig,
Right.
and so it's almost more like because I had known that, I was just like, she's being weird, she's like going
That's
for it.
what they- yeah.
I was like more sympathetic to it.
Right. You
The other
expect
dude
it.
was just strange.
Yeah.
But like that's overall comments. It's just like pretty tight movie. They get into the story.
Yeah.
There's a problem, something happens, and they wrap it up. So it's 4 kids. You know, there's not a ton of like loose ends.
Right. Right.
Overall, that's what my overall impression. I was like, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
With How to Train a Dragon, the franchise.
I was,
And this-
I was, and I'll talk about that later. How I rank it amongst other DreamWorks animated films,
Sure.
as well as other trilogies,
Yeah.
other animated trilogies. So I do think it was really good. I was impressed. Like I said, we were saying before, we rewatched the first and second one this week. And as I was watching, I was like, wow, and I remembered it fondly, like of them being really good. But each one individually is good, and
Yeah.
it's just not like something that they feel like threw together. A lot of times, whenever there's a sequel, my first question is why.
Right.
To me, you have to explain to me through the movie, why did you make this? You have to make a case to me why you made a sequel. Because a lot of times they're unnecessary. So that's why I say that. So for me, they made a good case for why they continue to make these.
For sure.
And each one has their own storyline. Again, the typical, there's conflict, and the conflict is somewhat similar.
Mhm.
A little different nuance in each movie, but yeah, I think it's good from just following Hiccup from a kid who is uncertain, still going through adolescence, trying to appease his father, and like they go that route of him like trying to prove himself to his father, who's like this big macho guy.
Yeah.
He's more of an idealist and the intellectual, but he's not just brawn. So that was like the first one, and him trying to show that that they can coexist with dragons instead of killing them.
For sure.
The second one, everyone has adopted this belief, and now they're fighting off against people who are still under the old ways of thinking of capturing and killing dragons. And then he's also, kind of playing on, the first one was like he had daddy issues, and this one he kind of has mommy issues, and then he ends up finding his mom.
Yeah.
And the second one ends up losing his father.
Yeah.
And then we have the third one here where he's now leading his clan. He's now grown up. And still just like kind of forming into that leader, and then like kind of creating, again, he's been creating his own path this entire time, but this now finally like leads up to like all right, now you are the guy. You're the guy that everyone's looking to. We have established that you're a good leader and that we trust you. Now lead us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
here we go with another problem, and now he's leading us.
For
So
sure, yeah.
it definitely goes through a good one. It
Yeah.
starts off like he's about to get busy.
It does. Well, another thing, as you're kind of going through his arc from 1 to 2, talk to me about his hair.
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed that, because he had like the little twisties.
Yeah.
Like kind of starting to go, because his dad had like kind of dreads, and like
Right.
some of the villains in previous ones have had like dread-ish, like
Right.
white people dread kind of thing.
Right.
And he has the few, and I was like, damn, he's gonna go full Viking, and he's
Yeah.
gonna get it. And then he kind of just gets a haircut.
he just kept getting a haircut. Yeah,
I was disappointed.
They did, you know what? They did lead it up like he was gonna have, like he just kept the boy band hair, and I thought he was going to.
It was kind of getting like
The second he had less twist in the third one than he did the second. The second one he had like 2-3 twists on the side. This one he just had like one.
It was just he would kind of turn his head. You would get a little peek.
Took too long to get the beard. Like obviously at the end they show him like as a grown man, and everything, and now he has his beard and a family. But I'm like, yo, they could have gave him a beard like 20. Like I'm assuming like in this one he was probably like 20, 22.
Like start with something.
Yeah, he was like, everyone else was getting like a little facial hair. He still had like the like very non-noticeable peach fuzz.
Yeah.
But they start this one off. This one could have been, if they wanted to bump it up to PG-13, they could have got busy with that with the action scenes.
Yeah.
Like this starts off, it's like they're on a dark boat, and he just busts out the like sword and flames, and like Night
like
Fury
the
comes out.
Like Viking lightsabers.
It was dope. I thought he was about to get busy, which they kind of did for a PG movie. They did, but like I was ready for some. I mean, if they want to come back and like maybe do like, how they're doing the Star Wars now, and they have like the in between stories.
For sure.
They could do How to Train Your Dragon, a Hiccup story, and like he comes up there and it's just like his battles through like all the ones that we don't see of him beating up other Vikings who are like trying to capture dragons. So I would be here for it.
Yeah, same. Him, Astrid, the whole
gang,
kind of getting after it.
This is this one had the best animation, and what I mean by that is which naturally makes sense because over time, like I see that with movies like Toy Story is a prime example of that Pixar technology that like just come out.
Yeah.
And that first one was like, wow, like first of its kind. And then now you see the third one and you're like, wow, this animation's way better than Toy Story 1. But this is like technology. So you can see that in this one, like as I was watching the first two, like, the other night, like in HD or whatever, and I go to the theater and I'm like, wow, they've stepped it up even more, which, it makes the first one look kind of like clunky in retrospect.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. The dragons are a little bit more defined also, which is cool. It's like they needed it this time because they kind of started using the third one to me was like the most, another bigger picture thought for you that like for me wove through is like, he's also like the Viking Batman.
Yes.
Then it's like it's like his flaw is like, and it's something he struggles with in this movie. Is like he like doesn't have a thing. He's not strong himself, so it's always like tools or toothless.
That's a really good
like his thing.
Yeah.
So he's like this like Batman thing where it's just like he's just like making stuff to fly. He's making stuff. But it was like cool, like you're saying, with the better animations because like he like starts using dragon scales. Like I feel like all their armor and stuff gets more intricate, and you can like really see it and like see how it moves in this third one.
That is true. Yeah, there were definitely points. The one that comes to mind, like right off the top, is there's a part. So again, it's called the Hidden World, and they're looking for this hidden world where it's like a dragon utopia. Only dragons are there. Like only dragons can get to this location. Like no boats can get to it. And that scene, like it's like a cave with like crystals and gems, and it's like glow in the dark gems and stuff like that. Anyway, the animation reminded me a lot of Coco, if you've seen that.
For sure.
And obviously Coco won like best animated film of the year. What was that, 2 years ago or whatever? And I wouldn't be like, this one will definitely be nominated at least. I don't know what, I have to look at the slate of stuff coming up, but
For
this
sure,
I
yeah.
would be shocked if this wasn't at least nominated, because
For sure, yeah.
that scene right there, I was like, oh wow, like they, you know, they're really just like flexing like all the animation. There are a lot of points in
Yeah,
that in
like
this
little
movie.
dragon eggs, the stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's just, like, you can kind of see. Yeah, it was like
They were definitely flexing there, and especially like this movie had the most parts where it was like they featured just dragons. Like there were points when like the dragons went off and there were no humans. It was just like silent. Like and it was 2 points like that where both were probably like 5-7 minutes of no talking, just the score. Which the score for this movie was kind of good too. Which I've never, a lot of animated movies, like unless they're sing-alongs, I don't really pay attention to the score. And there was points where I like paid attention to the score. So like, again, I think overall they just did a really good job with this movie. Who was your favorite character?
oh man. Who? That's good.
If you don't remember the name,
no,
I don't
no.
remember a lot of names.
Yeah, Eret, maybe.
Which one was that?
Eret, son of Eret.
Yes.
I just like because I like him because he's like, I hate it. Like who I'm like disgusted with is Jonah Hill's guy.
Yeah.
And the beard guy. Like
Yeah.
they weirded me out so much.
Yeah.
They just like they were like so incompetent.
Yeah.
And so then the other guy just being like chill, I just like appreciated him.
Yep.
He would come in, he would like help.
Right.
He would just be like actually helpful.
Right.
Not like an additional hurdle to like to Hiccup. Like the other people would like get in Hiccup's way.
That is true. Like his gang was not really that helpful.
His gang was not
It was
tight.
like him and his mom and his girl. Like those were the people who actually
they were
like,
actually
fought.
tight. Yeah. But so that guy Eret, and probably Toothless.
Yeah.
Toothless, the drag. He's sick.
Yeah, Toothless is sick. Like he, especially when he got on his own like wing. So that, you know, the other like underlying story with this, outside of like Hiccup's like main like arc, is that you know, if you love something, let it go.
Yeah.
So with this, in order, you know, and you can kind of figure that out. You know, you watch enough movies, you go to it, you can kind of, you know, early on in the movie, you see how it's going to end up.
Yeah.
Where in order to really save the dragons, which is Hiccup's like entire like mission from day one, from the first movie, in order to really save them, they have to let them go to this hidden world where no humans can access them. And that even means that they have to say goodbye to the dragons as well for their well-being. So so that was like, so anyway, in order to do that, from the first movie, the way like him and the way they like made this bridge with the dragons is because Hiccup helps nurse the Toothless back to health because his like wing got shot down.
Yeah.
So he creates like this like fake wing, but it only works if he has a rider. If Hiccup is riding him, so now he creates a better one for him that now he can fly on his own.
Yeah.
So now that he can fly on his own, again, he can go off and do his own thing. He doesn't like rely on humans, and now isn't like a liability to the other dragons. So I mean, once he got that, they were getting busy. Like when they had the scene when they're like in Night Fury, like his whole like power is like he can shoot lightning from, instead of fire, he shoots lightning
tight.
from his mouth.
Yeah.
And he can also, like as we see in this one, harness the power of like
he learns.
thunder and lightning.
Does
like,
she have a name? Does his girlfriend have a name? I was
I
trying
don't
to
know.
think.
Oh, light.
They just call her Light Fury.
Yeah, they call her Light Fury,
because
but
she's sick. But I
she
still
was
like
dope,
Toothless
too.
better. But yeah, she kind of like teaches him like, yo, this is what we can do.
Right.
Yeah, he just like goes up another level.
It was that was dope. Yeah, the thunder and lightning scene. You know, it kind of gave me. I'm not gonna lie, it gave me a little anxiety because I don't do well on flights.
Just thinking about turbulence.
Yeah, literally. As soon as I see clouds, I'm like turbulence.
Yeah, 'cause, they go like right into like a hurricane or something,
Yeah.
or like whatever.
It was
Tsunami.
dope. Again, another like animated part where I was like, yo, they're just flexing here. Did you have you ever flown through or like near a thunderstorm?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I'm struggling to remember like an exact.
Right. I mean,
But
for
in my
people who
head, I'm
aren't
seeing-
scared of flights, you're not gonna like remember like specific day. Like me, I'm like, I remember when I flew to Vegas.
Yeah. For
like,
me, I'm just remembering the like window seat, looking out, and you're like, whoa! You've
It's
never
going down,
like
yeah.
looked at a storm unless you. I feel like maybe flying in New York sometimes because there's like a lot of weird weather, weird like because you can see like because the land, there's a lot of land that's close, and land and water.
Right.
So yeah, absolutely. Have been in those when you're
man.
like, and that's like that's like how they were on their own.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, that always gets me. That always gets me nervous, and like I said, it got a little anxiety just watching. You know, I do Jonah Hill's character. He was annoying. He had some point. He had some lines though, because it's Jonah Hill. Like he made me laugh. Hiccup. He can be a little annoying sometimes.
For sure.
So the main character, he deals with this issue of just like self-doubt, and also like, it's a weird like complex. He has self-doubt, but then also is like really headstrong and will like make decisions like very like, will like tune everyone else's opinion out.
Right.
And I'm like, wait, like, are you like unsure in yourself, or like, are you so sure in yourself that you don't want to hear what anyone else has to say? Like, and I don't know, that's kind of what makes him him, and it works. Obviously, it works out because it's a movie, and that's just the way it goes. Yeah. But in real life, like, I don't know about Hiccup sometimes. Do you believe that this is not an odd quote? It's a very popular quote, but I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Fortune favors the bold.
Sure. Well, he's definitely bold, but it's like because he's so scrawny and weird. I think what wins it for, like, the only way he's able to like operate in this world how he does is from the first movie when he learns all the stuff about dragons from Hiccup, from like nursing Hiccup, or from nursing Toothless. He like wins over their respect, like all of his village people, because like they don't fuck with him. I swear, sorry.
Yeah, you can swear.
Because like they wouldn't, because like they don't. It's every other. And this is like maybe a little bit of a weird thing too. Like, wouldn't there be like one other person sort of like Hiccup at least that's kind of skinny? But there's not, and that's what makes it different. But everyone else is brawny, the beard like kind of dumb. But so it's like, so the quote works out. Then it's like bold, but it's also because he's like super smart. Yeah, right. You know, he kind of has that genius thing where it's like they are kind of like Hiccup's like weird and like. You know, definitely different, but we respect him. We have to respect him, right? Because of all his like knowledge, because he's a genius, because he's like knows, and the Night Fury thing too. Him and Toothless's partnership is like I think that's a big part. I just thought this. I think it's a big part of like why it's also really tough for him to let him go in this movie. And they kind of talk about it. It's like his power with the villagers, with anyone, is kind of intertwined with him and Toothless.
That is true. You know? Yeah, so like that's where it started. And the thing with Toothless also to note. You know, if you're not like well versed in the movie as we are, is that he is the alpha. Like Toothless is the alpha of the dragons, and he's the most powerful. Yeah. Like he's like hands down like the most powerful. Him and the other like Light Fury that comes into play, like they like hands down will like wash any dragon.
For sure. Yeah. So they're like Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Literally,
or literally. More like probably like more like Brock and Michelle. That's better.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that'd
be a top two.
That's much better. Yeah, they're definitely Brock and Michelle of dragons, and therefore because dragons are more powerful than people, they're top of the food chain. Period. So again, like you said, that is part of it. Like I have him in my back. Like that's always where his power kind of came from. Again, he's a genius and all this stuff. But if you try me, like know that I like if you have me pinned down, like I have Toothless have my back. Like we said at the first part, he comes out, they're on the boat, he pulls the sword out, he's getting surrounded, Toothless is lit up, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go down. Like that's why I'm like, I'm hyped. Like I'm like, they're about to get busy in this movie. So again, if they want to do some like side stories of like, I know they had like Netflix actually has like some of those cartoons. I'm not into it that much to where I'm watching like the TV series of like How to Train Your Dragon, but again,
I would watch like a 6-10 minute clip of, because you just mentioned when Toothless like lights up. He has the thing. I don't know if he had it in the previous first two.
I think it was just the
where
third.
His shit lights up on his back, like his thing. It's like I would watch like a 10-minute thing of just like all the crazy stuff that he can like do.
Yeah, we saw some new abilities.
That's some of the tight stuff. This one, he does like, is it like time? It's not like time travel, but it's like he like flies through, he like disappears. Light Fury like teaches him how to do that.
It's not like he'll shoot the lightning, it'll burst into flame, and then he'll go through it in camouflage.
It's like a portal or something.
Yeah, it's crazy, and then like pop up somewhere else. Like it's nuts. So again, the I've said this before on podcast on episodes of just how much why I love animation outside of just being a big kid. It's also how much you can do like creatively with it. Like it's like whatever you think and can like create. And now with technology, you can just, it's not just like sketching and then like, you know, taking it from that point. Like whatever you can create on a computer, like can come to life and be believable. Like, and they can do that. If they did that in like live action, there's so much you have to do to make it look real, and in some places, some do it well, like Game of Thrones. Like those, you don't look at those dragons and you're like, that's whack. Like no, it looks real and it looks dope.
Yeah.
But like, it's just so much more you have to do, like and
Right.
put into it to make sure that like they're interacting with humans.
Right,
It doesn't
that's
look
like-
fake or
yeah.
cheesy. Like so, and CGI and green screen. Like you don't want it to look. You want it to look real, but like yeah. So it's a fine line you walk there. But yeah, I do like the dragons. I do like how they make them more like make the story more relatable. How they liken the dragons to like dogs,
For sure.
basically.
And
So-
how like dogs, like how dogs like look like their owners, or how that's like a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Is like how like the dragons look like the people, like the riders or whatever.
Right.
Like there's definitely some like cool characteristic stuff.
Yeah, and because you have to compare it to something because obviously dragons aren't real. So you have to give it the qualities
Are they?
of like yeah.
They're the hidden world.
Yeah.
I'll
I'll be hyped.
Took care of us.
I'd be hyped. Yeah, right. Yeah, years ago they were stowed away somewhere. But yeah, I think that you have to do that in order for us to like really connect with them. So everyone loves dogs. If you don't, I don't trust you at all. But yeah, so making them like puppies almost, and then like their loyalty, and then again having like an alpha, and yeah, it's just a lot of qualities that again them playing fetch, like all that stuff.
No,
So I
yeah,
think
dogs is
that's-
perfect. It's like I feel like in the studio when they were working on this, it's like they're kind of like looking at how dogs interact with their owners for some inspiration.
Right, absolutely. There were a few points in the movie that I would get upset with.
Okay.
Main one being, so the guy that they're going against in this movie, he's like the greatest dragon hunter of all time.
Gremlin.
Right.
I got some thoughts. So I'm
Yeah.
ready. I'm ready. Let's do it.
So getting into Gremmel. So Gremmel is this old guy. Who voiced him? I got to go back and look at that.
I don't know. He kind of has like a Voldemort kind of vibe with like his white hair. He's
Yeah.
like real skinny.
Yeah, he's very.
I don't know
odd.
who did, because he still kind of has that like Irish Scottish sort of accent,
Yeah.
but it's like a little different.
He reminded me of it wasn't him who voiced it, but also who plays the villain in Django? What is his name?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, Christopher Waltz.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
That's not his
Yes,
voice. I know that wasn't his voice for this, but it's kind of like I think about like the like intelligent has like an accent. Like,
Yeah, it's more like he doesn't have an accent because he's from somewhere. He has an accent like because he's weird or smart.
Yeah,
it's
that's it, yeah.
It's an accent that just comes from like a character trait, not like
Yeah.
an ethnicity.
Yeah, it has
that's
nothing to do with
exactly
where
what
he's
it
from.
is.
Yeah, so like he had to have like if he sounded regular, I wouldn't have believed that he was like as
100%,
like smart as he was or as like vicious as he was. So him, he is known as the top like dragon slayer because like he is very like poignant in how he hunts, and also because he wiped out all the Night Furies.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing too. These two in this movie. Well, we find out that there's this other one, Light Fury, but Night Fury was the only one of his kind left,
Yeah,
which
Toothless
also
is
made
the
him
only
more.
one.
He's the most powerful, and he's the only one of his kind.
Yeah.
So he's unmatched. But this guy is who's credited for killing all the other ones. So like he's super feared, and
he's
he's
freaky.
brought in, and he's hunting them down. So, so he has like these other dragons who we've never seen before that are. What were they called? I can't even remember what they were called. What the kind of dragons they were
Like
called?
death something.
Death.
But I have a point about that. I'll tell you something about this.
But they have like horns in the front of their like they spit out venom and that like melts like acid that like melts and stuff down, but also like turns things on fire, whatever. They're just very very dangerous. Or not dinosaurs, very dangerous dragons. Anyway, he only had like 4 of them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how he just rolls up on this island of dragons. Right? And just shuts the whole party down with him.
Yeah.
And like he didn't even have like all 4 of them. It was like him and like 2 of them. Like let's go shut this party down and then peace out safely.
Yeah.
Like how?
So he reminded me of like the Joker. My favorite part of all these movies too is that like because it's animated, because they're in this Viking world that's fairly unique that they've created, they like just pull from every no one character is always like, oh, that reminds me exactly of the Joker, but it's like he has that Joker sort of thing where he's just like a lone wolf. Like we haven't seen that yet, where it's just like one guy. But no, I wanted to ask you. So like with his dragons, because he gets around, and this is also why I like the movies is because they've created a tight world. All of like the rules pretty much make sense. Like when they like lay down something, they tell you about how like a dragon works with a human. That's like so the alpha thing. His dragons don't respond to the alpha because he's like drugged them.
Yeah.
And so he's like a pimp, but not
Yeah.
like a cool pimp.
Right.
It's like a bad, like a human trafficking guy that's
Yeah,
like
right.
drugging people to get them to do what he wants.
Right, exactly.
That's like how his dragons work, which
Yes.
like was like kind of like freaked me out the most.
It is. It was
I was
messed
like,
up.
he says it. He's like I'm drugging them with their own venom.
Yeah.
To,
That's crazy.
To roll with me.
Yeah.
It's like this guy's like cold blooded. Like he's messed up.
It was messed up, and I think you need to have like, I like when they make the villains like so hateable.
Yeah.
Like, because when you make them, some villains are too charismatic to the point where like a Joker, where like a lot of people like that movie because of the Joker. Like a lot of people were rooting. You find yourself rooting for the Joker, right? So I think it's good and important when you make the villain just so hateable. So this guy. Again, another thing with this movie, how they lay everything down and how they explain stuff.
Yeah.
I hadn't, like, when they weren't responding to, like, Night Fury or Toothless or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't even think, like, wait, why doesn't he control them?
Right.
But I love the fact that they went back and explained it.
Yeah,
and, like, they didn't even have to, if they didn't put that detail in there, I bet you, like, a lot of us wouldn't have even really questioned it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just that they paid attention to every detail and they took their time with these movies. So I did appreciate that. But yeah, I don't know how he just had that much power just rolling up on the party, just whatever. Also, when it was, like I said, I think that now that I'm looking, as I was watching, I'm like, okay, yeah, they did like a lot of these parts with no talking just so you focus on the animation.
Sure.
And the story, because a lot can be said without words. But also, at one point I was like, this could be like a Pixar short. That all the Pixar shorts have no words, and I'm like, that's kind of what it felt like, when he's like trying to impress. So the way they bring in the Light Fury is initially she's used as bait to get Toothless.
That scene in like
So
the
that's how they
field.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in the field, and I'm like, all right, like how long is this gonna go with him? Like, he's trying to impress her, and he's just doing like, again, they're not talking, they're dragons, but yeah, I'm saying like that's common logic.
I mean, hey, yeah, that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah, so if you don't know, guys, if you're an idiot if you thought dragons could talk.
Dragons do not talk.
Yeah, they can breathe fire, they can fly, but they cannot talk. That's where we draw the line with fiction. But yeah, so yeah, that there's a point in there where there's just no talking. I'm like, all right, guys, like how long is this gonna go on? And I felt like it was about to be a Pixar short, but yeah, what is the dumbest thing you've ever done to impress a girl? Because that was like this part, like he's like fumbling around, like Toothless is like fumbling around to try to impress this other Light Fury.
Oh boy.
That you can share on the podcast.
I'm trying to think because it's just like, anything I do would be so dumb. Well, I'm struggling to remember a particular example, but I can say the scenario would definitely be, because like how I am, I would, like I said, I'm struggling to think of an exact little anecdote, but the way it would go down would be I would do something and pretend to not notice that girl.
Yeah,
is how I'm trying. Like I said, I don't have a specific thing, but it would definitely be something where I like try and do something cool, but I'm not like performing. I am performing for her,
right?
But I'm making.
Cool.
I'm in my head. I'm like, no one actually knows I want it to be for her, but I'm sure like to everyone else it was apparent.
Right.
It's like how it would be for me.
100%.
So it wouldn't be like Toothless, like actually like being like sincere. It's
right.
Like, I get too embarrassed for that. I wouldn't be.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is that like just that the head-on approach is a bold one.
Yeah,
again, back to the quote, the fortune favors the bold.
More power
I've
to
seen
them.
it work sometimes, but it's just like if that's not your game, like you can't adopt someone else's game.
Yeah.
Like, you have to stick within the confines of what you got. You know what I mean? If Steph Curry tries to dunk on somebody, we're gonna look at him and be like, you're a scrub.
Right.
So he sticks to his game.
Mm-hmm.
He shoots threes. So there's a reason Ben Simmons doesn't shoot threes.
Yeah.
Great player, but if he starts shooting threes and he becomes a spot up shooter, we're gonna be like, he has no game.
Right.
So you gotta stick within the confines. So I agreed. I definitely would go the more I definitely am more of a planner.
Sure.
And that's just me in terms of just life in general. Like
Gotcha.
I think through everything. I'm very methodical in everything I do. If I have a step like I want to take, like I might not take it for like months. Like I will wait. Gotcha. I will just wait until the perfect time.
Okay.
So that would be more my game. And then there's sometimes with waiting though, sometimes you miss out.
Sure.
But you have to be okay with that if that's going to be your game.
Yeah,
So there's again, I can't think of a specific like really dumb thing I've done, but I do know that it wouldn't have been like I'm just gonna like do all these tricks in front of you and like see what happens. And the guys who do that, like I'm always like, oh yo, you're even if it works, I'm like you're a clown. Like, I don't respect them
for sure. Yeah, no, we're in the same boat.
Yeah. what was I gonna ask you? The ending. So, wait, no. Before we get to that, let me go back. Let me go back to the villain.
Okay.
And sometimes I know they can't do this in cartoons, but I'm like, can they just shoot him? Like, can they just take a bullet to the head? Like, can we get this guy up out of here, man? Like, it gets to that point with him sometimes.
I wanted Toothless to blow him up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I really wanted to. I
so
wanted Toothless to get that for himself.
Yeah.
Because Gremel was messing with his girl. Like,
right, yeah.
Wanted it.
Yeah, so bad. I'm like, take him out.
Because he just you don't even really see it. No, that's like the thing of the whole. That is like the PG thing.
You know,
like,
cartoons, they always fall to their death. Like Beauty and the Beast, he falls off the roof. Like Tarzan, he falls through like the trees. Like, and they always just fall to their doom, and you don't really know like. Did he snap his neck? Did he die? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know. Like, did he just get into the water and like drown? Like, we have no idea.
Right. Again, is he not a strong swimmer? Like,
yeah.
What if he was? What if he's gonna pop out of the water in number 4?
Yeah.
He's gonna show up on.
That's
gonna be the first scene in number 4.
Him going out the water. Like, if they did, if he would have said like, I can't swim, like, that would have been. I would have died laughing in the theater. The ending I did like though. Again, them going off to the utopia. All the dragons going, and it's like, hey, we're giving up our dragons. That this community that they've built with the dragons, and this report they've built. It kind of feels like it's a wash, but at the same time, it was all for it. Like, this is what they were building for. They didn't know this is what it was going to come to.
Yeah.
But in order to truly save the dragons and preserve them, that's what they had to do. Do you have a dog? Did you grow up with a dog?
No, I did. My mom was allergic. So I have a dog now. My brother's dog. I think I've touched that. Well, Bernie's mountain dog, Pearl. Shout out to Pearl.
Oh yeah, you do have a man. My nose is running. I was struggling over here. I don't know if it's the weather or like allergies or what, but like
it's like switching. Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit warmer today.
Struggling. But yeah, I was going to ask you, with dogs, would you be willing to and do you think people would be willing to give up their dog if they knew, like, oh, my dog's truly going to be happier, like in this utopia? Like, would they be willing to give up their dogs?
For humans, good people would, but I feel like,
I feel like a lot of people would be selfish and be like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people, some people, But if it needed to be like a wholesale thing for the whole thing to work, no.
Yeah.
Not enough. People would be selfish.
People would definitely people who say they love dogs and animals would be selfish. I mean,
they need to go see this movie. They need to see how
watch the trilogy. I'm gonna start showing people this movie and be like, let them go.
Maybe, I don't know. That's maybe like a real PETA type opinion. Just put out there. So they would say, hey, go see the hidden world and let these animals roam free.
What if I say that and like someone's like, you're right, they let their dog out and like gets hit by a car, like. I'm like, hey man, I didn't tell you to do it. I just was telling you to see the movie.
Oh no!
I just have a podcast, man. Don't listen to me. I have no research in this. Maybe some more fight scenes. That was really other than that, the ending. I thought it was a great way to end the series. So how they ended is, again, dragons go off. Then they fast forward. Now it's however many years later. Hiccup and his girlfriend, now Astrid, get married. They have kids. He has a beard now. Game time. They're sailing.
Beard, no dreads.
No dreads. Yeah, still no dreads.
I was disappointed.
Still no dreads.
For sure that was the time. He bulks up a little bit.
Like a little bit, yeah. I'm about to say, like, he did like a couple more push-ups, some pull-ups. And then they are off, him and his 2 kids and his wife, and they're just sailing and happen upon a rock where now we see Toothless. I mean, this is like a decade or so later.
Yeah.
We see Toothless and his family. Now he has kids with Light Fury.
Yeah.
And Toothless comes over to the boat, attempting to defend his family. He's about to like tear him up and sniffs him and realize that this is his old buddy. So that's how I love that moment. So that was a great way to end it. They just tied all the knots nicely, and for us to not be wondering, like, is there going to be a fourth? Which, again, if they really wanted to, they could. But if they have some integrity and want to leave it as it is,
they should.
They've done a good job so far. So like, don't ruin it with a fourth where it's like, what are we doing? Like, but they do end it with, maybe there will come a day when humans and dragons can live together. And
I wanted to ask you about that. Like, when?
That line, it was like, I was like, all right, this is how it's going to end. Man, this is, you know what? They did a good job. Wait, no, that line, no, are they going to try to? So I think that they did that. If I had to hypothesize, I'm going to say that they're not going to do another one, but that also, to be smart, you do want to leave room if you do want to do another one.
Yeah.
Like the Batman with the Batman series, with Christian Bale.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not doing it anymore, but the way that last one ended, they could.
Yeah.
If they want to start the Robin thing, like they had it open for that.
Right.
But
Yeah, it's more like they're not setting up for another of the exact same thing. They would like spin it out. It would be like
Yeah.
about Toothless, or it'd be like about Hiccup's kids, or
Right.
It'd be more something like that.
So I could see them maybe doing like a straight to DVD Hiccup's kids and Toothless kids thing. Like, watch, it's gonna be on Netflix. Just watch. Like, they'll do some stuff like that, which I'm fine as long as it doesn't go to like theater and they're trying to like, all right. But yeah. So overall, I thought it was a really good film. As far as Dream, I didn't send this over to you, so you didn't really have time to think about it. But DreamWorks franchise films. I'm including all sequels in this too when I say a name. So number one, I just ranked my top 5.
Okay.
One, I have Shrek.
Okay.
Shrek is epic. That whole, and I'm including like Puss in Boots also, which is a sneaky great film.
Sure.
If you never watched it, really funny. So got Shrek, Prince of Egypt.
Okay.
It's a great one. I went to the theaters to see that. Also went to the theaters to see Shrek. How to Train Your Dragon, I have at 3. For
The first one, or this one.
I'm
trilogy.
including all
Okay,
sequels.
yeah,
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 so
yeah.
just the whole franchise.
Yeah.
I have How to Train Your Dragon as the 3rd best franchise for DreamWorks. Then Megamind,
Okay.
also a sneak film. If you haven't watched Megamind with Will Ferrell, it's hilarious. One of my favorites. If you're my friend in college, I probably made you watch this in my dorm at some point, like because I just thought it was so funny at the time. And Madagascar, I have at 5. A lot would argue that Madagascar comes before Megamind, but I do not care.
Sure.
Because this is my list. So that's my top 5 for DreamWorks. As far as animated trilogies, so across any studio, Toy Story, I think is firmly planted at 1.
For sure. That's what I was,
I don't know if anyone could argue that.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just judging based off the first 3. I'm sure that with the 4th one, it's only going to be better. But the first 3, amazing. Shrek, I have as number 2. And then I have How to Train Your Dragon comes in at middle of this list too. So I think they did a really great job, not just for DreamWorks, but just overall. Despicable Me, I have at 4. And then again, including all of the little like Minions and all that, and then Cars, Pixar Cars.
Yeah.
I have at 5. So yeah, I thought really highly of this film. What do you give it out of a scale of 1 to 10? You can use decimals as well.
Yeah. Let's do.
Wow.
I'm trying to think. Pretty high. Because like it's like I said, I'm just like impressed by like, regardless of if I liked it or not, I was like impressed by how like the tight story. So like 8, 7.5, 8.
Yeah. I gave it 8.2.
Yeah.
So we're right there.
There you
We're
go,
in
yeah.
the same wavelength. So 8.2 out of 10. If you were to suggest to someone how to view it, would you tell them opening night, $5 Tuesday, Netflix, or don't watch it all?
We're not to like make it to like put it as less than, but like Netflix, just because like it's like a good easy watch. I feel like you can throw this on at home on the couch.
100%. Yeah, this is a great film for like it's a family film.
Yeah.
So and because like the way people view movies now is just different. Netflix doesn't necessarily mean like a lower tier.
Yeah.
But I had. It's good enough to go see on opening night and not be upset.
Yeah.
However, again, it's not time sensitive movie. Like there's like Avengers coming out. People are gonna want to be the first to know about it. They don't want spoilers to be ruined. They want to go and see like memes and stuff to ruin it.
Yeah.
So you need to go see it pretty quickly, and it's gonna be topical. Like a lot of people are gonna be talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
This obviously is not. So you don't have to see it opening night.
Right,
oh my
right.
gosh, my nose is just like I'm about to get some tissue if we weren't gonna like finish right now. Just keep using my shirt, which is disgusting if you're watching on YouTube. Just completely disregard. But I have $5 Tuesday would be a solid one.
Sure. Okay.
Upcoming movies you're excited for?
Yeah, I was kind of trying to look. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is
Yep.
Quentin Tarantino's newest one coming out.
Yep.
Brad
that
Pitt.
was mine like 2-3 podcasts ago. I said
Gotcha.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I was just looking through before I came in. They're both just looking tan, just like looking like movie star. Like,
it
so
looks like it's
that.
gonna be good.
And then what else? Oh, we were talking about Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. I love the Joker as a character, just how like screwy he is. I love Joaquin Phoenix. So excited for that too. Excited to see.
That does look good. DC to me hasn't like quite figured it out, but hopefully they do a good job with this.
Yeah.
Teen Spirit is one that I'm looking forward to. I think that comes out next month.
Okay.
About it's like a Cinderella story with a girl who's entering a local singing competition to become a pop star. So again, not to go on that only thing I listen to is female pop vocalists, but I am excited for this movie.
Yeah.
It looks good. I like the like coming of age, like rising star type movie. So
For sure.
That's all I had. You got anything else?
Dude, no. Like I said. I did one last one.
Yes.
The stoic Hiccup's dad's
Yeah.
best friend
Yes.
with the peg leg and
Yeah, I
the
love
arm.
him. Yeah.
Was he like tripping out seeing those like little guys in the thing?
Yo, yeah, there was a point.
Because there was a point where he's like, look at all these little. We're talking about like some
Yeah.
little dragons that like kind of pop up halfway through, like a little species.
Right.
And Hiccup looks, and they're not there.
You know,
the whole
I
time.
think when that happened, I think they just like moved quickly.
Okay,
I think they
okay,
just, like,
okay. It wasn't like-
yeah. I thought he was tripping too. Like, yo, is he like?
Because he's
what
kind
they
of
getting
goofy
to?
as it is. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Like
Is
he
he
could be like the
hallucinating?
stoner guy, like in this movie.
Right,
Like, throughout
yeah.
the thing, he's like in the kiln, like working in the fire, like kind of by himself.
Right.
He could.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what was happening there, but yeah. So, all right. Well, appreciate it, Healthy Fast, for coming up.
Bro, for sure.
It's been real. So until next week. Next week doing what am I doing? Us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So all right. Until next time. Peace.